Hey guys, my name is Josh. This is my first podcast, especially on this subject. It is about who is Wildlife Parks Unlimited. It is a nonprofit started by my grandfather, and I am here to pick apart their podcast, their website, and everything that I've seen so far. And it's because I'm one of those that's like, you know what? Let's get into some deep dives here. Let's look at their site. Let's look at everything and let's just break it down so that I can understand it and those that are they're seeking donations for to purchase land or to get land donated to for restoration and bring in people who love conservation, who love just wanting to do this. So let's get started. So I may not agree with my grandfather on a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that have been said, and I wish he would actually just take the time, listen to what really needs to be done instead of saying, "Oh, I know everything," and then 10 months later, he's given up on the project. So let's dive deeply into this. So, who is Wildlife Parks Unlimited? They are a 501c3 that just came into the scene on conservation. Now, I agree with what they want to do. I think it's a beautiful idea. However, there are three podcasts in. They're already talking about already starting to have done some eco-friendly work along a river. Yet, I've checked their Facebook. I've looked on everywhere else, and I don't see any update or a post that goes, "Hey, we acquired our first piece of land and we have already started going the route of doing." No physical real pictures, no actual, "Hey, let's have a conversation with the news. Um, let's talk with state senators. Let's talk with representatives for the state, wherever they've got the property." And it's a great concept. Now it's just breaking it down and going, you're pushing a podcast that should be about 6 months down the line. The reason I say 6 months down the line is because within the first year, you should have roughly maybe 2, 3 properties, a timeline about 4 to 6 months each restoration. Uh, Talks with other nonprofits just to start bringing in word of mouth. There's so much to do. It's why I've seen nonprofits with binders that are thick, that have their mission statement, that have their plan, that have, "Hey, this is what our year one goals are. Here's quarter one, here's quarter two, here's quarter three, here's end of year." So we're looking at, I'm breaking it down. And the reason I'm breaking it down is because if I was Joe Blow, who is driving along, let's say Route 66, and all of a sudden I pull over, side of the road, beautiful, beautiful area. Oh, beautiful flowers, a couple picnic tables. Hey, this is beautiful. What's this all about? wow, that flower's from here natively. I've driven past here about 27 times. Never noticed this before. I'm going to pull over. I'm going to get out of my car. I'm going to go, hey, grab a sandwich from my cooler, grab a bottle of water, sit at the picnic table, enjoy. All of a sudden, I see birds, I see nests, I see small little marmots, I see little things like that just out of nowhere. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, what's this sign? Restored Natural Habitat by Wildlife Parks Unlimited. Oh, this is cool. Oh, there's a little path here. Okay. There's a little sign. These are your native wildflowers. Okay, I'm cool with that. This is awesome. This is beautiful. I get to the river. I sit back. I'm sitting down, enjoying my sandwich. And all of a sudden, I see a sign that says, prior to this being re-beautified, this river had X amount of trash in it that affected the ecosystem. All of a sudden, it's catching my attention. And all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, I think this is a cool little area. Is this their first? Is this their second? Is this their third? Or is this their 27th or 28th area that they've cleaned up? What is their goal? What is the concept here? And I mean the concept. So I get back to my car, making sure I clean up the trash, making sure I have everything. All of a sudden, I see a little sign that says scan here for more information. So, take my phone, open my camera app, like so, hit that scan button across that QR code. It pops up. Wildlife Parks Unlimited, park number, area, Route 66. More information, scroll through. As I'm reading through, I'm reading, okay, this was restored. This was land donated by so and so. This park is dedicated to that person who donated the land. Okay. Well, that's just pretty cool. And I'm going through it, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, if you'd like to continue beautifying this, you can donate anything from $5 on up. We'd appreciate you joining our website and joining each one. You can join for free. However, if you want to keep up with updates and stuff like that, you can join for a lifetime at X amount. It'll allow you to keep up to date. It'll allow you to join us on our next incursion of cleanup and restoration. This donation also goes into keeping this park clean, keeping this little area off the side of the road beautiful. It allows the team in the area, if they know, hey, once a month we come through here, we just make sure everything looks good. And then on to the next. That would be more appealing to me than 3 episodes in AI generated podcast. And and giving information on something that hasn't been done compared to something that has been done. Now, the reason I break it down this way is due to the fact that at the end of the day, I am looking at making sure everything looks good. So, like, if it was me and I was doing the podcast, I'd want to sit down with the owner of and the founder of this 501c3. The reason I want to sit down with them is because then I'd be able to ask, hey, why did you start this? What inspired you? What do you want to give back to the community? And why? And start asking the hard questions that need to be answered. Because, like you, the viewer who's watching this, I'm interested in conservation. I'm interested in the hiking, the fishing, the camping, the keeping places that keep our wildlife alive and thriving. So, when I ask these questions, why are we already 3 podcasts in, a bunch of shorts, but yet nothing being said on the website, no updates, nothing on that end? Look, at the end of the day, it's about promotion. It's about talking to the right people. It's about acquiring your first land. It's about going out taking pictures. It's about people donating their time to restore this beautiful nature. And personally speaking, if there's no information being given, but yet your podcast is feeding a narrative that hasn't already started or has been done, without the website having pictures, without Facebook posts, without any of that. I don't see any of that. And that scares me. If I were to donate, say, $100,000 to this project, and I have no idea, and I'm just basing it off their podcast, but I'm not seeing any posts on the website, no updates, nothing, I wouldn't want to donate. Now, if I saw, hey, we are starting to raise money to start our first restoration, this is going to be the location we are looking at, we would love your help with that restoration. A $50 donation could go towards trash bags and like trash cans, so that we can start gathering trash out of that area. Go in, $100 goes in, puts in the walking paths that show the native plant life and helps remove indigenous plants from the area. Oh, the $150 goes towards, hey, we're going to go into that river, we're going to start picking up the trash. We want to make sure that species like the spotted brown trout, catfish, have an ecosystem that is clean and that is not killing them. This is where my point's going. Is they're already 8 months ahead. Yet, I'm gonna go through next episode and break down and show what I've seen, screenshots on top of everything, and just I'm not calling them out. It's about being accountable for what you're doing and what you're building, especially what if I was so Joe Blow and I'm traveling with my family, my kids, my animals, and everything. Would I stop here? Why would I stop here? Is this a great place to have a small picnic? Is this a great place to just come and educate myself on everything going on? So let's take a deep dive in the next episode on who is Wildlife Parks Unlimited. And let's show their website. Let's show their Facebook. Let's show their YouTube. And if they've started updating this stuff after I've actually talked about this and showing what they're actually doing, kudos. However, for those who are very, very much getting into who is this? Why are they doing this? What are they doing? Well, let's deep dive. Let's take a jump off the deep end into the unknown. And this is just where I stand here, guys. I appreciate y'all coming to my first podcast on this. Let's take a deep dive here in episode 2. This is episode 1. And I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Stay blessed.